Hey guys, welcome back to Keeping Up with Chyna. Today we're back with another video. If you're new, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about 7 reasons why you should not get locks. Okay, yes, you should not get locks. Before we get started, you guys, I'm standing up, so I'm like walking around and all that stuff. But before I get started, guys, I do sound a little congested, so please forgive me. I am getting over this cold that's been on me for like it's been almost a week now, and it's annoying, and I'm trying to get rid of it. But anyways, I'm trying to get back to my routine and stuff like that, so I do still sound congested, so please just bear with me. If you can't hear me, just try to understand what I'm saying. Okay, so 7 reasons why you should not get locks. Okay, because a lot of people are always like, oh, I want to get locks, but I just don't know, I can't commit, all that stuff. So I'm gonna go over some tips and some things that if you're thinking about those things, or if those are a hard yes, then you probably shouldn't get locks. Okay, once again, I got my handy dandy notebook here where I have all my lists so that I don't forget anything. So we're gonna get started, you guys. So number 1 is getting locks for the length. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, you guys, I remember before I got locks, I kind of wanted it because I seen other people with locks. Their locks were really long and beautiful. I'm like, oh, I want long hair just like them, with women of color and stuff. And they say that it's kind of hard for us to grow our hair and all that stuff, and for most people, they think locks is the only way that you can grow your hair. So that's what I thought, so I was like, oh, locks hair is just very pretty and they're long, whatever. But I'm here to tell you, if you only want to get locks just because of the length, for your hair to grow long and it probably is not for you. Why I say this is because especially if you're starting off with if you're starting off your hair shorter, it's gonna take you years in order for you actually to start seeing the length. Like for me, I started off with really short locks, you guys, short hair. So it took me about 3 years and 8 months, almost 4 years, for me to actually start seeing my length and all that stuff, you guys. So that's another thing to consider if you're just going in for just the long hair, because it's a process, and 9 out of 10 times it's not going to happen overnight. Okay, number 2 is if you prefer having a different style every day. Okay, so with locks, we do say that it is versatile. You can do styles with them. You can change up, like for example, one day if you want, you can have it a ponytail, you can have it half up, half down, but if you're a person where you have to have a weave one day, you want braids the other day, you want cornrows the next day, you want twists, so if you're that type of person where you like to change your hairstyle all the time, then locks are probably not for you. Yes, a lot of the time, especially in the starter phase, you can still do the braids, the Marley twists and the weave and all that stuff. But as your hair grows longer and longer, it kind of all those different hairstyles that you used to do, it kind of you can't really do them anymore because your hair is longer. And for example, if you want to put a wig, it's gonna be harder, because for you to actually fit all that hair underneath the wig cap. So if you're a person who likes to change it up all the time, then locks probably is not for you. For me, I didn't really care for a weave like that. I can live without it. I don't really need it. All those other hairstyles, I don't need them. I love my locks. I love there's a lot of different styles that I can do with it, for me to look if I'm bored with this, I can do this and look a little different, so that is number 2. So number 3 is if you like your hair to look neat and fresh all the time. And I'm saying as in like, you know, you like you have to see your scalp all the time, like you just have to have that look, fresh looks all the time, then locks are probably not for you, especially in the starter phase. Especially in the starter phase, you guys, your hair is frizzy. It's, you know, some days, you know, when you have like a fresh new retwist, it looks nice, but that's only for like, you know, a few days or a week or so, you know. And after that, the fresh retwist, it goes away, and then your hair starts to like, you know, puff again, and the frizz start to, you know, be more out there, and you know, so that's another thing. Yes, there are days where your hair is gonna look nice, but some days it's not gonna look, you know, fresh and, you know, sleek all the time. Like I'm actually about to actually wash my hair, I think tomorrow or sometime during the weekend. My hair actually has been looking frizzy all last week and this week. I just literally just put some gel in the, some edge control in the front, sleek it down a little bit, and now it looks a little bit more presentable. But you know, that's one thing that, you know, comes with having locks, the frizziness, and your hair, you know, not looking fresh all the time, and you kind of learn to just love your hair, however, you know, in every process, you know, you kind of just learn how to actually just, you know, maintain it and just, you know, like it, you know, in any state, either if it's retwisted or if it's just you know, not retwisted and it's just frizzy all the time. You kind of learn to, you know, rock it and look good either way, you know. So that's another thing. Number 4 is if you're not fully comfortable with your blackness. What I mean by that is, okay, for number 1, especially if you are a woman of color, that's a minority. And also having locks is also a minority, especially nowadays. You know, a lot of people are getting locks, but locks to a lot of people are still you know, are still considered a minority, you know. So it's like, if you're gonna get locks, you have to kind of own it. Like you have to, you know, be able to, you know, stand out, you know, because locks are unique. A lot of people don't understand locks. A lot of people think they're ugly and all that stuff. So if you're gonna, you know, get locks, you kind of have to own it. Like you have to wear it all the time. Like it represents you and who you are, and that also comes into play with you and your blackness. So I feel like if you're not comfortable, if you're not, you know, comfortable with that, then I feel like it's gonna be harder for you to, you know, because people will stare, some people will talk and stuff like that, and you know, it is what it is. But if you're comfortable with it, and if you love yourself and you have that confidence, then honestly it is what it is. So that's another reason why, you know, I feel like if you are not comfortable with your blackness and all that stuff, you should not get locks. So number 5 is locks can affect your confidence, and I'm really talking really in the beginning stage, because in the beginning stage, you know, your hair is going through so much, and some people, they feel like if you're not really all in for it, you guys, that can take a toll on your confidence, especially when, you know, it's going through the ugly phase, as they say, you know. That can actually take a toll on you, where like, you know, you feel like you're not pretty, you feel like, you know, it's not doing what it needs to do, you know, and stuff like that. So I feel like, you know, if you're not ready for that, if you're not confident and stuff like that, that will kind of, you know, take a toll on you, and most of the time you will, you know, eventually cut your locks or you know, to take out your locks. But locks will teach you a lot, you guys. Like it will teach you confidence. Like if you really want it and you really are ready for that journey, it will teach you a lot about yourself, and you know, how to be patient, and eventually you will start seeing your lock just flourish and stuff like that. Number 6, another reason why you should not get locks is if you're doing it, you know, if you're doing it to look like somebody else's locks. Because I know a lot of people you know, DM me saying, oh, I love your locks, I just started my locks and I hope that they turn out just like yours. And I'm just like, no. Honestly, at the beginning stage, you know, I used to kind of, you know, be like, I want my locks to turn out just like this person. But honestly, that's one thing that you should not do. Why? Because everybody's hair is different. Every hair every log journey is not the same. Like, it will never be the same, you know. Nobody's locks journey is the same. You know, the thickness, I mean, I feel like, you know, you can look up to people for like inspiration, motivation. That's okay. And like, for example, like little tips and stuff on how to, you know, style your hair or maintain your hair and stuff like that. But if you are growing your hair just for it to look like exactly like somebody else's, I feel like that's kind of a no, because it's not going to happen. Locks do their own thing. Everybody's hair do their own thing, especially depending on what type of hair you have, you know. So it's, everybody's hair is different. So if you're doing that, stop it, because locks may not be for you. Okay, number 7. This one is kind of like a, it's like a you can kind of debate, you know, with me about that. But number 7 is if you have you know, very weak hair, or if you have very weak edges, I would not advise you to start. Of course, you can still do it, but I would say that, you know, make sure you're not retwisting often. Make sure you're not, you know, styling it often, so that you're not putting too much tension and all that stuff in your edges or your scalp. Because if you don't have, because especially with locks, you have to have a strong foundation, because your hair will grow, and as your hair grow and it, you know, it has length, and then which, you know, it will have weight too. So, you know, the more it grows, the more weight, you know, it'll have. And if your hair is growing and it's getting longer and it's just pulling on your edges, or you're like, it's putting too much tension on your edges or your weak hair, then it eventually will break, you know. So that's another thing to consider, that, you know, if you know, before you start your log journey, make sure that your hair is at its healthiest, you know, state. Make sure, you know, you're starting with a good foundation, so that, you know, you don't have to, like, you know, terminate your log journey too early, or, you know, have to go through a lot of breakage or stuff like that, because, you know, you did not start with that good foundation and your hair just couldn't really take it. So yeah, guys, so I think that's about it. If you guys have any other tips on reasons of why you think people should not start locks, or you should not start locks, then, you know, leave them down below. Starting, like, the log journey is one of the best thing that you can do. It'll teach you a lot about yourself, you guys. It's a beautiful journey just to watch your hair transform and go through all that changes and phases, and for it to just start, you know, for it to just flourish and stuff like that. So I strongly encourage you, if you are thinking about it, just go through all these reasons to see if, you know, it's a yes or no for you, and maybe that can help you to decide maybe if locks are for you or not. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.